Siemano, tutaj Black Belt. Dzisiaj ze mną Jason Radcliffe. Hello, Jason.
Hello, brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, and it's a fight week. And how do you feel like 5 days before the fight? I guess
Good.
5 days.
Yeah, 5 days to go. Feel good. Feel full of energy. Feel in amazing shape. Yeah, ready to go in 5 days.
And what was it like with your training camp? Did everything play well?
Yeah, it played a lot better than it did play before my last um fight at KSW. It was a bit more structured, better this time. Yeah, so I'm happy how camp went. And we really didn't stop training since the last fight anyway. So it was definitely perfect timing.
It's great, Dan. So before I will talk about your next opponent, we're gonna take a little step back to your last fight against Damian Jankowski. I mean, you lost that fight, but I mean, it wasn't like you got outclassed or something like that. I mean, in the first round, I thought that you started a bit slow. He was more active, and in the second round, he started to pick up the pace. But then he grabbed you under the fence, and as I remember, he took you down and beat you up with ground and pound. And could you give me like a small recap of this fight?
Yeah, I feel the same. I feel the fight it didn't go my way, but I felt that the first round I started off a bit slow, but I wasn't outclassed. The second round I got more warm into the fight a bit more, and we knew what he was going to do anyway, which he was trying to do, as much as he could. But there was my body didn't feel I was like ready to deal with that type of style as much as I felt that I needed to at the time. So it, you know, it, he got a position which we knew he could get, and it just kind of played out in his favor that time. So yeah, it was definitely a good fight with Damien, but we're gonna definitely run it back.
Have you seen his last fight against Pavel Pavlak? He lost that
Yeah, I
fight,
watched
but
it. Yeah,
it was also like pretty competitive. And Pavel Pavlak is a pretty good fighter, so it isn't like I mean, you lost to a pretty good fighter also in the person of Damian Jankowski.
yeah. Damien's he's class. He's a good fighter. He's definitely got good attributes. I watched the last fight with him and Pavel, and it was a good back and forth. Three round fight.
Had Damian surprised you with anything in your fight with him?
Um, Not really, not really. He definitely did try to strike maybe a little bit more. He he didn't come out fast as he normally did. Um, so I just felt like the adjustments that I needed to make mentally I could make them, but physically I didn't feel like I could. It was clicking. So yeah, he got his hand raised, that night.
Okay, so I mean, one question more about this fight. I
Yeah,
mean, he got one takedown, as I remember, but in the second round, and after it he finished the fight. But apart from that, I don't remember if he took him down even one time. And he's a really, really good wrestler. I thought that you defended the most of the takedowns really, really, really
Yeah, I
well.
watched. What he's an Olympic. Was he Olympic silver medalist, bronze medalist? I don't know what he is, but he got some kind of medal in the Olympics. And every fight I've watched, he's taken guys down at will. Like when he wants to, he just takes them down. And when he fought me, he couldn't take me down. It was like he he tried and then he failed. He tried, he failed, he tried, he failed. And that was like 7 minutes or at least, 7 minutes, at least 8 minutes after the second round. He tried again and he got what he wanted because my body wasn't capable to prepared as much as I wanted to be prepared to kind of deal with that consistency. So you know yeah, he's an Olympic bronze medalist, silver medalist, wherever he is, and he tried a few times, a lot of times, and he couldn't take me down. So it shows my level of takedown defense. You know,
Yeah, you're right. Your takedown defense looked really good. I mean, it looked good even against Anthony Chmielewski in your KSW debut. He shot a couple of times, and as I remember, you have defended it pretty well. And in this fight with Damian, I mean, you proved that your takedown defense is good even more because, as we have mentioned, Jankowski is a really, really good wrestler. And uh, I mean, it was the last question about Damian. And what do you think about your next opponent, Albert Odzimkowski? I mean, have you watched his last fight? He
yeah, I watched his when his name came up, then we started to look into what it was about, who he was, what his style was. So I didn't know much about him, before his name came up.
he's 0-2 in KSW, but it wasn't like he got dominated in these fights. I mean, he got knocked out by Michał Michalski, and he had like pretty competitive fight with Christian Ekelin. And if you have watched that fight, I mean, one half of people, at least in Poland, think that Albert should won that fight, and it was a bad decision. And the second half of people think that Karin rightfully won. And what do you think about it?
Yeah, I watched both fights. The first fight, yeah, he got knocked out. Um, I don't know if that fight was at a 170 or 185. Not too
Yes,
sure.
yes, it was at 170. Both fights, as I
Right,
remember, were at 170.
170. So both fights were at 170. I watched both of the fights, and the first guy he fought, he's good. He moved really well. He moved really well, and he got caught with a shot, and it was a good shot, and that was that. The second one was, it was a decent, quite decent 3 round fight. I think to be honest, I think it should have been a draw. If anything, it should have been a draw, but they gave it to the Erkelin. But I think it should have been a draw. But they both was as active as each other. It was a good back and forth, decent fight. A good fight. They tried to, they tried to finish. I didn't feel that Albert was trying to finish. I think Erkelin was more trying to finish the fight. I think, but it was a good fight. Definitely a good fight. A good 3 round fight to watch.
What do you think about him, like in the terms of what danger he
He's dangerous.
mostly possesses to you?
He's dangerous everywhere. He's dangerous everywhere. This guy, he's dangerous everywhere. He's a good fighter. He's been fighting for a while. He's got a good record. So, he's dangerous. Dangerous everywhere.
Do you have any future plans about your adventure in KSW after this fight, or or your focus is just on Albert right now?
Yeah, right now it's one by one. So get through Albert first. Want to get through Albert, and then it's I believe me and Damien should go again, and then after that fight, is depending on who wins out of is the next middleweight fight after me and Albert. So clinch and somebody else, I don't know his name, but yeah, there's a few guys in the middleweight division, and Pavel's there. Pavel's he's obviously just beat Damien, so it's probably a good idea for me and Damien to go again.
There is another fight in the middleweight on this card between Cezary Kęsik and Marcin Krakowiak.
Yeah, it's a good fight.
And would you like to face the winner of this fight after you win?
Yeah, I would like to, face anyone that's in the division. Let's get through Albert and let's see what fight makes sense. So it's all about making the biggest fights. So at the end of the day, it's one by one, and whoever's next after, let's try to make it a good fight.
There is a fight in the middleweight division between Roberto Solic and Mehmet Khalidov. KSW announced it, but it isn't like we know exactly when it's going to happen. It could happen in December. It could happen even in the next year. But what do you think about this fight? It seems like it's one of the biggest fights, even in KSW history. And I don't know. What do you think about this fight? Maybe you have any predictions?
It's a good fight. Like it's two good names that they put together. Does it make sense? I don't know really if it actually makes sense. I'm a fight fan also. So me as a fight fan, I would like to see that fight. Like, I'll go crazy to watch that fight as a fight fan. But like as a fighter for the organization, it doesn't really make sense. Soldic fought what's his name? Who did he fight last? Not the last guy, the guy before that.
Patrick Kintz.
No, the guy before that.
Michał Matella.
Matella. Okay, he fought Matella. Did that fight make sense? Not really. But it was good for a fight fan. It was good to watch to see what would happen in that fight. It was just a good fight to watch. He's dangerous at welterweight. He's dangerous. He's really dangerous at welterweight. He's pretty much unstoppable at welterweight, which is good. Is great. I think like for a fight fan perspective, it's an amazing fight. I can't wait to know what date that fight's gonna be, and it's gonna be a big fight. For them also, big fight for them, and a big fight for KSW. But does it make sense? It's not really. I think Khalilov can. There's other guys probably in the middleweight division that he could fight. But I guess it's a good fight just to test, two good names together. So yeah, that's what I feel. But it's gonna be a good fight. It's an amazing fight. But if you're talking about does it make sense? It doesn't really make any sense.
I understand. So, are you planning to finish the fight, or maybe you're going to outwork him to the decision? And do you have any straight plan to this fight, or there are many game plans?
I'm just gonna go in there and finish. I'm coming in to finish. That's it. That's it. So every step, every minute that goes by, I plan to just go to finish. So that is the only plan in my head right now, and it's been the plan in my head the last 3 months. So however the finish is, it happens. But that's the plan.
Is there any concern about that if you would, if you lose? I mean, I'm not saying yes or not, but let's say that there is a possibility that KSW could release you from the organization. Is there any concern about it? Are you even taking it into consideration, or you're not really
Nah,
paying
I'm not.
attention to it? I mean, it would
Nah,
be 1 and 2 in the organization, so I don't even know if they could do it, but some people say that it could be a thing. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. To be honest, I'll just leave it to the organization. That's the fight fans. They enjoy my style. They So it is. I don't really think about that right now. I'm the fighter. I'll think about fighting.
Okay, I understand. So I think we're done here, and good luck, Jason. Good luck
Thank you.
against Albert Odzimkowski. Thank you for the interview. And
Thank you.
could you say something to your fans in Poland, and to your fans on, I mean, all the world?
Tune in KSW 64 Saturday pay-per-view. Let's go.
Hear him. So, thank you for the interview, and
Thank you.
good luck.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.